lead stories to decent journalists like Isikoff. So, did they have the means? Did they have the ability to commit this crime? Yes. They had the money, they had the access, they had the location, they could send anybody they wanted, and they did. Did they have the motive? Are you kidding me? The money is the least part of it. The money is the least of it. This allows you to control elections and the world. If you have this, at Fox News, Roger Ailes had this little team, and we've talked about it before, that could do investigations on anything you wanted, and the press went crazy. Now, I think that was really kind of spooky, but the press thinks that's crazy. No man should be able to do that and investigate. What about this? This is using our DOJ, this is using our CIA, and it's using our money. Is there no one willing to say, we should really kind of look into Donald Trump all you want? I don't think you're going to find what you're looking for. But look into this. Okay, so they had the means, they absolutely had the motive, and did they have the opportunity? Yes, on all three. So now, let me go back to Colombo. Oh, just one more thing. The reason why I wanted to show you Colombo is because, and I'm hoping the president is watching tonight, because Mr. President, I understand, and I think anybody who watched this with an open mind can understand why you're about to lose your mind with the press. We get it. I get it. I get it more than I ever have. But know where you are on the script. Know what point of that TV show that we're watching. Know where we are. Villain always helps solve the case. Who's helping solve this case? Oh man, the Democrats are there to help every step of the way. The CIA, the intelligence community, the DOJ, everybody is there to help solve the case. All right. Villain is usually the first on the scene leading it. Then they have a dupe as an alibi. These people didn't do it. There's nothing to see here. I know these people. There's nothing to see. You know who the dupe is? The media. I don't think they're a dupe unknowingly. I think they're so full of rage and hatred that they can't even see straight anymore, and they are the alibi. Are you kidding me? You believe this? You're a conspiracy theorist. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I think we've laid out some facts that maybe we should look at. So the dupe has as the alibi, and then the villain slips, has additional information. Why did Nancy Pelosi say, yes, I'm going to go for impeachment, when the thing that she claimed she never saw was coming out the next morning? Wait until the next morning. Well, we found out now with Schiff, he knew about it in advance. He knew all about it in advance. In fact, I think Donald Trump was right. This is my opinion. This section is my opinion. In my opinion, I think Donald Trump was right. I think he and others in the DNC helped write it and shape it. I do. Why? Why? Because of that date, April 29th. This date where they had new leadership, he's turned everything in Ukraine upside down. This was silent because everybody's like, freeze, duck and cover. Maybe Mueller will find something in Russia so we won't have to worry about it. Maybe this guy won't be kicked out of office and you won't get the comedian, so just don't do anything. But cracks start to happen the closer you get to this election because people realize, crap, I'm on the wrong side. That's why. That is why. That's why she went with it right away. Right away. Now, admission with some sympathetic reasons. This one's great because if the media can convince you this is all about Joe Biden, and I've heard all of these, it's amazing. Okay, what Joe Biden did, it wasn't a crime. They're right. As far as I can see, it's not a crime. It's grotesque. So, look, what he did, it was grotesque. You've heard them say this, but it wasn't a crime. There's no crime there. they're going after him because he's running. No. So leave him alone. And his son just died. I heard that one I think today. His son just died, and we can't, they're just dogpiling on him. Yeah, he did some bad things, but he's Crazy Joe, and he didn't break the law. And his poor son, leave the family alone. Sympathetic reasons and admission of something. But as that comes to light, they have to create a new villain because you're starting to get on to what's happening. So we got to create a new villain, and you go to the scene of the crime. You try to take that new villain and tie him to where your crime is. You know what? He was on the scene. Trump made a phone call. Create a new villain. And then there's that point in the show where somebody goes, just one more thing, because there's something that bothers me. If President Trump, if you are watching, you have to know, you're an entertainer, you're a guy who's done television forever. You know how these things work. Play it cool, dude. Play it cool. Because the American people have now the information. And if conservatives and anyone honest in the media will look at this and make this the narrative, everybody will be saying, you know what, one more thing, DNC. Because what follows that is a confession. It's a guilty verdict. And I guarantee you, this group of people here, they might confess, I doubt it, but they might confess, but they will claim to their death, we were only doing it for the right reasons, and we were just trying to stop Trump. Because that couldn't happen. I don't care what you think of Donald Trump. As even Donald Trump knows, I was worried about Donald Trump. He still does things I don't like. He does many things that I do like. I call them as I see it. I do my own homework. You need to do the same. Okay. Final thoughts. One more thing. So what is it that's really going on in Ukraine? Let's go there. People learn in many different ways. So let me end this broadcast with a different way to present this. What's really going on in Ukraine? I want to be very clear. I don't believe this is about Donald Trump, and I don't believe this is about Joe Biden. I personally believe that Joe Biden is being thrown to the wolves. They don't care what happens to Joe Biden. This is about the DNC. They say it's hard these days for Democrats and Republicans to find common ground. But I don't believe that's true. God help us if we actually care about the country. Corruption is probably the most bipartisan thing in U.S. politics. It is what the honest people who voted for Barack Obama wanted. The hope for change. They wanted the end of things going on that they were underground, that they were being lied to, or they'd say one thing and they'd do another. They wanted an end to that. And that's why the good people that voted really for hope and change, that's what they wanted. Not socialism, transparency. That's the same thing that people with Donald Trump want. Really, honestly. Just be transparent. But we've gotten to such a point to where both sides think it's better to burn the whole thing down or just get somebody in who will jam that point of view through for them. You cannot build anything out of ashes. You can't. A conservative means that you look at the whole landscape and you think, this is a key element that needs to be conserved. This needs to be conserved. And we can change this and this because you're right. In certain areas, things aren't working. We conserve. And that's our job. Not to fight against the liberal, because the liberal is the one who's more likely to say, I got a great idea. We should try this. Great. But let's conserve these principles and move forward. There is stuff we can jettison. But we have to be honest. We have to think. We have to be engaged. We have to do our own homework. I want you to know, anyone on either side doing anything illegal should go to jail. If Donald Trump committed any crimes in his interactions with Ukraine or Russia or, I don't even care, Tobago, he should be removed from office. But the evidence isn't there. The corruption we find in Ukraine involves the Democrats. And it is exactly what they said we would find with Trump and Russia. And try as they might, however many millions they spent, it's not there. You can still spin it any way you want, but there's no there. All along, the Democrats were colluding the same way they accused Trump of colluding with Russia. That's been proven in a court of law. The biggest thing that is wrong here is the media. They believe they know better than you, and their mind is made up. My mind is made up when I see the facts. They failed at their number one priority, which should be, always has been, to ask honest questions. They're not asking honest questions. They are asking questions that will prove what they already believe. They never questioned the Russia collusion narrative, never. They gave Democrats a pass. You're right, he's wrong. It all started well before Trump became president. Barack Obama enjoyed what is likely to be the most comprehensive pass ever given to a modern president in any country by the modern media. You see him and his fingerprints all... You have to get a new mic. The media, we see what the media did with Barack Obama. Okay, because they trusted him. They bought the hype early in 2008 that he could do no wrong, and they never questioned him. The media didn't dig into Benghazi. They didn't dig into the Iranian deal. They didn't dig into the IRS targeting. And when that was proven, all of those things, they didn't care. They certainly didn't dig into Obama, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton's, and the Democratic activity in Ukraine after the 2014 coup. I don't care if Republicans did that. I'd want all of those Republicans out. The media is choosing sides. And they picked their narrative from the very beginning with Barack Obama, and then extended it to Joe Biden and even to Hillary Clinton. And I got news for you. If you pick a side and then it's wrong, if you continue with that side, you are not an honest broker. I came out during the election against Donald Trump. When I started to see him do things that I like, I had to admit that. If you don't, you're not an honest broker. Now, you may not like any of the things that Donald Trump did, and that's fine. We can have different opinions of people. But the media sticks with their narrative of Donald Trump because they got to get him out. It's the right thing to do. No, it's not. Trust the people. We are a year away from election. This makes no sense unless you're trying to kick dirt over your tracks. There is no reason for an impeachment a year before an election. And I think it's because they had decided that there had to be a coronation. First female president in U.S. history. It was a foregone conclusion. So when Donald Trump interrupted the champagne popping, the narrative was immediately established that the only possible way he could have pulled it off is collusion. He must have had